They seized my rescue animals and hit me with a $4,500 fine, all because I refused to bow to their HOA. But they never saw a small farmer like me unraveling their corrupt empire. What would you do if a greedy neighbor tried to steal your family's legacy? Comment below where you're watching from. I bolted across my muddy yard in my cowprint pajamas when I heard Daisy, my miniature pony, whinnying in panic. A tow truck labeled County Enforcement was approaching my barn at 7 a.m. Who raids a farm at dawn? Stop! What are you doing? I shouted, nearly tripping as I charged toward them. 3 people in crisp green polos turned to face me. The woman leading them, with flawless hair despite the breeze, clutched a clipboard like a sword. You must be Emily Carter, she said, eyeing my pajamas with disdain. I'm Victoria Langston, president of Maple Grove Homeowners Association. You've ignored our notices for 3 months. Notices? HOA? I don't belong to any HOA. I snapped. My family's owned this farm for 50 years. Victoria's smile was ice cold. The county rezoned this area last quarter. Your property is now part of our community, and you must comply with our rules. She handed me a thick envelope. Inside was a $2,300 bill for back dues and an order to remove all farm animals immediately. This is absurd. You can't just claim my farm, I said, my hands shaking as I gripped the papers. A man in a tailored suit stepped forward. I'm Nathan Langston, Maple Grove Development LLC. The county approved our petition to include all properties in these boundaries. He unfolded a map showing my 5 acres swallowed by their new suburb of identical houses. My farm was an island in their sea of manicured lawns. Victoria glanced at her gold watch. Your grandfather clause expired with the rezoning. We're authorized to remove non-compliant animals today. 2 workers moved toward my barn, where my 6 rescued chickens, 3 goats, and 2 ponies lived. My dog, Scout, barked frantically. You can't take them. That's theft. I blocked the barn door, heart pounding. It's enforcement, Victoria said, handing me a county-sealed document. Retrieve them from the county facility after paying your violations. The paper looked legitimate, signed by Commissioner Reynolds. I'm calling the sheriff, I said, fumbling for my phone. Nathan smirked. The sheriff's aware of this action. When Sheriff Daniels arrived, I pleaded for help. He looked uneasy. Their paperwork's in order, Emily. The county rezoned this area. Get a lawyer, he whispered before leaving. Workers caged my terrified chickens. My oldest goat, Hazel, bleated in fear. Let me help so they're not scared, I begged, tears streaming. Victoria checked her clipboard, unmoved. You have 30 days to comply. Remove that ugly barn, paint your house an approved color, and install proper landscaping. When they reached for Daisy, my 17-year-old pony with arthritis, I snapped. She's too old for this. She needs special care. Rules are rules, Victoria said. As they loaded my animals into trucks, new neighbors watched from their perfect lawns. Not one helped. Victoria handed me another paper, $4,500 in violations, payable in 2 weeks, or they'd lien my property. Nathan snapped photos of my farm, his smug grin chilling me. What did they want with my land? That night, my barn was silent without animal sounds. Scout searched for his friends, confused. I stayed up researching, desperate to fight back. At dawn, I drove to the county animal facility, a bleak building reeking of bleach. The clerk said, Release fees is $4,500, plus $75 daily boarding. That's my entire savings, I choked out. Seeing my animals in tiny pens broke my heart. Daisy could barely move, and Hazel bleated in distress. They're farm animals, not dogs. Not my department, the clerk shrugged. They'll be adopted out in 14 days if unpaid. Furious, I went to the county records office, requesting all rezoning documents for Maple Grove. Hours later, I found a bombshell. The rezoning petition was filed 6 months ago, but resident notices went out only 3 weeks back, far too late for input. Commissioner Reynolds had fast-tracked it, ignoring environmental concerns. I photographed everything. At home, I found a landscaping truck in my driveway. Workers handed me an HOA notice to remove non-compliant vegetation. I kicked them off, spotting Victoria watching from her car, taking notes. I called my friend Sophie, a local reporter. "This is fishy," she said. "Mind if I dig into it?" That evening, an elderly neighbor, Margaret, knocked. "I saw them take your animals." "It's wrong," she said. She'd bought her home for the farm views, only to learn the HOA, led by Victoria, was targeting dissenters with violations. "I overheard Nathan talking about luxury homes on your land," she whispered. The pieces clicked. Nathan's company had bought surrounding land cheap, built houses promising farm views, and now wanted my land for a lakefront development. That night, headlights swept my yard. Nathan and another man trespassed, inspecting my barn. I filmed them, furious. When I flipped on the lights, Nathan called it a routine inspection. "HOA bylaws allow this at 11 p.m.? I yelled, "Phone up. I'm recording. Leave, or I'll press charges." Nathan paused before driving off. "You can't win, Emily. Your farm's a speed bump in our plan." His papers looked like construction plans with my land marked in red. I found a rezoning notice dated 3 weeks ago, despite claims it was final. At the records office, the clerk confirmed Reynolds signed an emergency order. A Maple Grove brochure showed my land as Phase 2, Premium Lakeview lots. But there was no lake. The clerk said a man-made lake was permitted, starting in 60 days, matching Victoria's compliance deadline. My mortgage had a disputed title flag, my taxes had doubled, and my insurance was under review. They were suffocating me. I emailed Sophie, who replied, "I'm interested. Got documentation?" As I typed, Victoria's SUV stopped outside, snapping photos. I hit send. "I have everything. When can we meet?" Sophie's story hit the front page. Maple Grove HOA targets historic farm. Neighbors called with their own horror stories, fines for wildflowers, towed cars, and unapproved paint. We formed the Maple Grove Property Rights Alliance. Margaret's grandson, Ethan, a law student, found the HOA's formation broke multiple rules. I emptied my savings to free my animals, boarding them at a friend's farm. Daisy's dulled coat broke my heart. Ethan discovered the rezoning lacked an environmental study, as the proposed lake threatened wetlands. We filed for an injunction. Then, disaster, my documents were stolen, and a foreclosure notice cited unpaid taxes I'd paid, with receipts now gone. Margaret called, panicked. Victoria had emailed the HOA, debunking our conspiracy theories. 3 SUVs pulled up, Sheriff Daniels, Victoria, and Nathan, holding a county-sealed folder. I called Sophie. "They're after my house. I have proof." "Perfect," she said. Her next story exposed texts between Reynolds, the county clerk, and the Langstons, planning the land grab. A neighbor, George, provided recordings of secret HOA meetings where Victoria vowed to force the farm lady out. Our alliance grew to 37 members. 2 pro bono lawyers filed an injunction. In court, the judge, appalled by George's recordings, froze HOA actions and referred the case for criminal charges. I brought my animals home. Neighbors are repairing my fences. That night, my barn burned. I heard Daisy's terrified whinnies as flames roared. Neighbors smashed doors to save every animal. The fire chief found accelerant. My forgotten security cameras caught Nathan with a gas can at 3:42 a.m. Police arrested the Langstons, finding matching accelerant in their garage. Reynolds resigned, and the county reversed the rezoning. The Langstons pleaded guilty to fraud, corruption, and arson. Nathan got 5 years, Victoria 3. The HOA was dissolved by an 87% vote. Neighbors rebuilt my barn, and the Langston seized lot became a community garden and therapy space. My farm now hosts a farmer's market, therapy pony rides, and gardening classes, protected forever. At sunset, Scout by my side, I watched kids pet goats. George laughed. They wanted your land for houses, but they built a real community by uniting us against them. My farm's sign says it all. Be kind or leave. What do you think of the Langstons' tactics? Was their scheme just business, or pure greed? Share your thoughts below. Let's debate what's fair in fighting for your home.